The Beast is the world's longest wooden roller coaster, and for 44 years has stood at the top of my list for getting ACE members angry when I tell them how much it sucks. That being said, it's run basically non-stop for 4.5 decades. Let's take a look at the odometer and see how much it'd go for on the secondhand market. From opening day until 2021, the Beast had a track length of 7,359 feet, which is about 1 1/3 miles, or 30 times the amount of patience guests have when you ask to check a kid's height. In 2021, routine maintenance extended the coaster 2 entire feet in a maneuver that can only be attributed to magic, or weird email advertisements. This coaster is designed from kinematics equations scribbled on a napkin and laid out by a dude with an axe wandering in the woods whose only instruction is to be home by dinner. It's widely known that getting lost in the woods will cause most people to walk in circles until they die, which is probably the reason this exists. Lucky for the park, he did eventually find his way back to the station, or Kings Island would have built an actual railroad. The Beast operates 3 trains of 36 riders and has a maximum capacity of 1,200 riders per hour according to the Coaster Enthusiast Bible. If you're familiar with the limits of theoretical capacity or have operated this coaster in the past and want to correct this figure, feel free to scroll down to the comments and keep it to yourself. Kings Island is usually open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. or the hour of mourning to the hour of bloodshed for those familiar with Ohio time. 1,200 riders between 3 trains gives each train an hourly capacity of 11 cycles per hour. Multiplying 11 cycles by 12 operating hours gives 133 cycles per operating day. I hope you're keeping up. Basic multiplication is as complicated as it gets around here because I figured out the difference between 1 and the letter L last week, and I'm very proud. On a single day with constant dispatches, a single train on the Beast rolls approximately 185.3 miles. Not bad for a roller coaster that canonically has a child that died. The data used so far assumes perfect 3-train operation for a full 12-hour stretch. To put it simply, something like that's never going to happen until Kings Island is actually haunted. I'm trying my best on that point, but for the time being, I'll undershoot the rest of my estimations. Having been fortunate enough to operate rides outside of Ohio, I'm willing to guess Kings Island might get one of these days per week over the summer. On other days, we'll count the perfect day total into 1/3 to account for times when Beast is closed or a specific train isn't running. Why 1/3, you may ask? The answer is a complicated mix of statistical analysis and careful examination of the facts mixed with personal experience. After all, who's lining up every day of the week to ride the equivalent of being stuffed in a bag of bricks and being thrown off the top of the lift hill? Twice. Kings Island is open for roughly 125 days every year. The important bits are the weekends. We'll say half of them are impressive in every way days, and the rest are 1/3 multiply normal days, then hope the number we get is big enough to justify calling it Fermi estimation. Taking the daily mileage and multiplying that by the number of days Kings Island is open, as well as our 1/3 multiplier, gives this totally sensible calculation. I'm not sure who invented algebra, but whoever it is, they're spinning in their graves. The total is 14,023.5 miles. Whoa. That's just for 1 year. Moving forward, the Beast has been operating since 1979, so if we misuse multiplication one last time, we can find our grand total of 617,035 and 1/3 miles. I would like to formally remind Kings Island that they are about 203 oil changes behind on regular car maintenance. 617,035 and 1/3 miles is massive. As with any number more than 4 digits, it's impossible to imagine. If there was a single roller coaster that was this long, it would be enough to go to the moon, loop around it 5 times, head back to Earth, circumnavigate the planet 4 times, head back home, crash through a wall, ruin family game night, and go to Kings Island and take the path of the actual Beast. You have to wait a little bit to ride that coaster though. We sent a guy to the moon with an axe to lay out the track, but we haven't heard from him since.